Well, good morning to everyone. Thank you for attending to today's webinar. Let me introduce myself. My name is Alvaro Mocholi. I'm responsible for international sales for the company Grecom Technologies. Just to let you know, today we're going to be recording our webinar so we can share with all the attendees and all the people that register after this event. Okay. All right, well, let's start with our webinar today. Today, we're going to introduce you all the different solutions that we have for the critical infrastructures. Before we go straight into explaining or showing you all the different solutions, I would like to do a very brief introduction of our company. Grecom Technologies is a company that is specialized in developing real-time analytics. We are very specialized in developing solutions for thermal imaging cameras, although we also have solutions for optical spectrum cameras, but our biggest expertise is thermal imaging. Right now, we have over 30 different video analytics developed. We export to 64 countries worldwide, and then one of the, I think, the key advantages of our company is that we cover the full chain of value. So that means that we have our own R&D department, which is responsible for developing all our solutions, the solutions that we sell. Okay. Also, we resell some solutions from third-party developers, but I will say that 85% of all the solutions that we have in our portfolio has been developed by us. Also, we have an integration department which is responsible for integrating all the different solutions with existing cameras, VMSs, digital input and output models, access control devices, and so on. And then we have our pre-sales and after-sales department, which is responsible for setting up all the solutions. So usually, I mean, we are not just resellers. Whenever we sell our solutions, we are in charge of downloading the licenses, configuring the licenses, and doing the fine-tuning in a way that until the solution is not working as expected by the client, we will not stop. So this is kind of like a turnkey solution. We will do all the work until the solution is working as expected. And then also we have the after-sales department, which is responsible for all the potential problems that might show up with the analytics, like bugs, or in case that some cameras, they need to be reconfigured, the analytics, and so on. So also we have like after sales and maintenance department. These are all the different lines of analytics that we have. We have perimeter surveillance. We can offer safety, marine surveillance, traffic, fire prevention and detection, healthcare, automation, face recognition, forensic, and then also cybersecurity. Okay. As you guys know, is considered critical infrastructures is considered all the assets that are related to transport, like airports, ports, train stations, bus stations, food industry, everything that is related to food manufacturing, nuclear energy, power supply or energy, electrical power supply, government, water supply facilities, space development, finance, and R&D, chemical industry, healthcare, and telecommunications. So what we're going to do is today we're going to be introducing you all the different solutions that we have to cover all these areas. And we're going to divide it in two sections. First one we're going to do is security solutions. And then we're going to do the automation or safety solutions that we also have for the critical infrastructures. Okay. So the first solution that we would like to introduce you is our platform. Okay. As you guys know, most of the solutions that are available on the market, basically what they do is they are recording, and then also they are recording the what we call it the alarm events or the events that the video analytics generate. Okay. We go one step beyond, and then what we do is we incorporated artificial intelligence of deep learning into our VMS. So here what we do is we can offer when we say artificial intelligence means that we classify all the objects as we are recording on them. Okay, so that means that whenever we do our recording, that means that we classify if it's a human, if it's a vehicle, if it's an animal, if it's I don't know, like a motorcycle. Then then also we classify the colors of the objects. For example, if the card is red, the card is green. And then also in the humans, we can classify by the gender, by the clothes types, also by the clothes colors. And then also what we can do is we can record the face or license plate number. And this help us a lot whenever we have to do a search event. That will help us a lot to find the right object or the right person among all the cameras that are connected to the VMS. So for instance, we have like let's call it a smart search tool that will help us. We can just specify the type of object that we are searching for, then the characteristics such as color of the clothing, type of clothing, and then also as we say before, we have by the face, okay? And then automatically the system will be searching through all the cameras that are connected to the VMS, and that will help us to go straight to what it is interesting for us or whatever we're looking for. Okay, so this is gonna this is gonna save us a lot of time on accessing to all the recording hours or material that we have about the, um, the system. Okay, and then also this will help us besides the artificial intelligence also help us to monitor the facilities in a way that we can do people counting, heat maps, we can do tracking of people inside the premises always as long as they are inside the field of view of the cameras. So on top of that also will help us to manage the facility in a way that, for instance, imagine that we don't have anyone in one area. What we can do is we can turn off the lights or we can turn on the heat or the air conditioning. For cleaning purposes also, whenever there is no people in one area, we can address the cleaning crew to that area in a way that they can work on that area. Also, what we can do is sound analytics. So in a way that whenever we detect, like, I don't know, like a glass breaking, fire alarm, or like people yelling or fighting and so on, also can be detected by sound, and then automatically will come up into the dashboard or into the screen in a way that we can manage and we can react into it. This is the type of solution that is proactive in a way that once we have set up the rules for the analysis, whatever it happens, when something happens and that matches the analytics criteria, automatically what is going to happen is that it's going to pop up on the screen. So we can react to that activity or to that event immediately. This is not like kind of like a reactive in a way that something gets recorded and then we have to access after the event occurs to find out what really happened. So once you set up the detection criteria, automatically will come out, and then we'll be able to react in real time. This is the architecture, how the system will work. We have two ways. You can use our own cameras. In that case, the good thing about our cameras is that the analytics and the recording is embedded into the cameras. So we will not need any server. So it can go directly into connected to the cloud, and then we can access on real time to the cameras, or we can access to the recording through any workstation that is connected to the network, or through any smartphone or tablet. We have our own API, which will makes accessible through mobile telephone numbers or smart tablets. In case that the facility has already installed some cameras, then in that case we will have to install a server which will react as let's call it as a cloud connector, okay? Or cloud connector, or you can connect directly what we call it the workstations or the smart tablets and so on directly to the server. Okay, and in that server, what we will have is we have the analytics, and also we will have the what we call it the recording and the analytics. It will be on that server. Okay. Another of solutions that we have available here is the face recognition solution. Okay. This is a solution that we can guarantee a 99.87% of accuracy without on wild faces, okay? And then with a face mask, we can guarantee a 98.8% of accuracy, okay? This solution follows all the privacy rules. I mean, all the privacy regulations like ES 256 in REST, and then also it has the HTTPS, okay? In transit. As for the detection, is one of the fastest solutions in the market. We can guarantee to detect the face and recognize the face in less than 100 milliseconds. This is something that has been certified by the NIST. As for the processing requirements, is one of the one of the algorithms that requires less processing requirements, which is about 20% lower than most of the competing solutions that we have competed with versus. And then also the solution is a very flexible. You can work on premise, on cloud, or you can work on hybrid. Okay. And also it's compatible with all the operating systems, Windows, Mac, Linux, Android, and iOS. And as also we have our own SDKs and APIs in case that we need to interact with an existing access control devices or with VMSs. Okay. This is the result of the test that we did. There were 340 different algorithms tested. Okay, and then as you can see here on the upper right corner is our solution. Okay, which it is you will see is among the ones that less processing requirements needs for the to analyze, and then also is one of the fastest solutions on the detection. Okay, so here as you can see, the most accurate wild face algorithms include models with false non-match rate of 0.285, and then our results were 0.00227. Okay, and then also on the speed we were, I mean, on top of the top one. Okay, so what can we offer from the with the face recognition? Okay, from the monitoring point of view, we can do mass detection, social distancing, audience management. So that means that we can see when there is like there is a lot of people gathering together. So and there is too many people inside one premise, so we can limit the access into that. We can also have congestion prediction. So this will be also useful for queue management, and then also for especially, for example, front desk attendance. Also, we can have like suspect detection in case that there is one individual person that in the past has created some sort of problems. So what we can do is we can identify before it gets into the facility. Okay, counting people, activity monitoring, directional analysis, meaning that people coming in, people coming out. And then also we can have a multi-factor authentication. I mean, as you know, in some critical infrastructures, people have to wear protective equipment, and sometimes it's quite difficult to identify the person. So what we can do is we can put a kind of like a QR code outside the equipment. So we will be able to identify by the QR code. Okay, and then also, with the facial recognition, what we can do is we can have access control, VIP recognition, subscription and activation of new customers. So, for example, on the front desk, whenever you are registering people. So what we can do is once you register once, the second time that you come to the facilities, you don't need to go through the whole process. So it will speed up the process of registering new visits. And then liveness and anti-spoofing. I will put you a video later on to show you how this solution works. So here, basically, what we're doing is detecting, the solution can identify between a real face and a non-real face, like a picture or video or an image that is not real, okay? And then from the analytics point of view, what we can do is we can do demographic analysis from gender, age, also with facial expression, heat maps, queuing time, dwell time, which is the time that you spend inside the premise, occupation panel. This is a dashboard that will explain how many people is inside and also will give us statistics such as gender, age, and then how many people is wearing the mask, how many people is not wearing the mask, and so on. Okay, so here I'm gonna put you a video on how the the liveness and anti-spoofing works.
فقال لها اديله 200 جنيه ويبقى كده مرضي. 200 300 جنيه فقلنا له كده قال لا انا هاخد 500 جنيه. فالمهم راح الناس تنزل.
So here, as you can see, whenever it is detecting a real face, it comes with a green heart. Whenever it is detecting a non-real face, comes with the red heart. So it will not grant the access. Okay, and as I said, this device will also work with pictures or with images on smart tablets or phones or videos. So also with when you saw the credentials, like a badge, the system can match the identification of the badge with the face recognition, and in case it doesn't match, it will not grant access into it. Also, we have the perimeter solutions. This is a solution. We have multiple solutions here. We have like what we call it, the perimeter lockout with artificial intelligence. Okay, also we have the Sentinel for thermal imaging cameras. We have also solutions which are embedded into cameras. It can be also available with Axis, Hanwha, Dahua, and then also we have this solution available with PTC cameras. So meanwhile the camera is moving, will also work, and then also can work on server base or embedded. Okay. As for the artificial intelligence solution, which is the perimeter lockout, we have multiple detection rules. It can be intrusion, line crossing, prowling, or abandoned object. The solution auto classifies like persons, vehicles, and also discriminates alarms by animals, vegetation movement, light changes, shadows, and raindrops on the lens. Okay. So this is the kind of solution that in case that you want to have a high level of accuracy, I will recommend this type of solution. The big advantage or the competitive advantage that we have is the accuracy. Let's say the disadvantage is that you need to put quite a lot of pixels into the image in order to be able to auto classify. So that means that on detection range, we'll have to sacrifice. With an optical lens, with a day and night camera, excuse me, we can reach about 100 meters. And then if you go with a thermal imaging, the maximum distance recommended should be something like around 200 meters. Meanwhile, in case that you want to go very far away and then reduce the number of cameras for a very large perimeter, we will have to go with another solution which we call it Sentinel. With that solution, definitely we cannot do artificial intelligence, so we cannot classify, but we can reach much farther. So the competitive advantage will be reduce the number of cameras, reduce the cost of civil works, and then also with computer infrastructure and cabling and so on. And the disadvantage will be that it will not be as accurate as the artificial intelligence solution. Okay. Here I'm going to show you a video of how the long range detection works. So here, as you can see, on the central camera, there is a lot of movement of the camera, and there is not, barely there is no false alarms at all. I mean, right here, we just detect the dog when there is very close to the person. But also you can see there is a very far distance. For example, on the right camera, we are detecting 350, 400 meters away. And then also on the upper left corner is the contrast is very low, and we are able to detect it. And then also here, this is the solution for the artificial intelligence. Here you can see that it auto classifies the person. The lady that is carrying the dog is not detected. Another solution that we have is the marine surveillance. This we use it for offshore platforms, for ports, and then any kind of a scenario that is on water. Okay. This what it detects is large and small vessels, okay, and then floating objects. Okay. So here what we do is, as you guys know, the radar has kind of like a blind area that in which doesn't cover small or doesn't detect small boats. Okay, so the idea will be for us. What we do is to detect those small boats on that blind area that the radar is not covering, and then what we do is we also position those objects in the same map or in the same map as the radar is using, in a way that we can interact with the radar system. And then also what we can do is we can position all the boats and the small boats and floating objects in that same map. So with one interface, you can monitor the radar and also the analytics solution. Okay. So it has a very large detection. The minimum target size will be 2 pixels. We can guarantee a very low false alarm between 2 and 5%. Has multiple detection rules like, I don't know, like a floating object, line crossing, or presence. Does not generate false alarms by waves. Okay, this is on normal conditions. I mean, if it's very heavy and very rough sea conditions, it might the system also might generate some false alarms by the top of the waves and also by very when it's very windy. I mean, the top of the wave tends to change the thermal signature, let's call it, so that will interfere on the detection. We can have an alarm UTM GPS positioning, so we can also position all the events into the map, so we can do tracking, and then we can also position. The solution is available with fixed and PTC cameras, okay, and then also it's integrated with all the main VMSs in the market: Milestone, Genetec, Axis Camera Station, Pelco, Avigilon, Goitebrook, EDs, Cathesics, the Seco, Digifort, Chameleon, Latitude. So pretty much all the main VMSs that are available on the market. So this is, how the system, how the solution will work. Okay, and from the security point of view, the last solution that we're gonna be talking about is the data loss prevention. Okay, so this is a solution that has been the cybersecurity command winner in the US. This is the let's call it the cybersecurity authority, which also belongs to the FBI, and we were the winner. I mean, there were like 10 categories that we should perform. We were winners of 7 of them, including the best overall. Also is the JITC certified, okay, and then NITF also compliant. And then we were the Cybersecurity Awards winner on 2021 last year. So basically what this solution, what it does is monitors all the activities in all the workstations that are connected to the network. So this, I mean, what we can do is we can monitor anything that has been included into the IT policy of the company, such as any kind of actions in case that there is an alarm, so access to applications, access to browsers, any outside connections, DNS lockouts. You can have like a file access monitoring. And also, whenever you integrate with any third-party device, so we can also monitor the performance, locations, logins, printing of confidential materials, process starts, sensors, USB devices, plugins, and downloads, and Wi-Fi connections to unsecure networks. So these are some of the areas that we can monitor. But what we do is we adjust to the IT policy of the company. So here, basically, what we do is download the software into all those workstations that we need to monitor. We set up all the activities that we need to monitor. And then whenever that happens, automatically we will detect it and we will report it to a central network or a central workstation where all the workstations that have this software integrated will be reporting. Okay, but besides detecting, also what we do is we will react. So we can log the activity, isolate the workstation, block the activity. Okay, so display a message, do a screenshot, so we can prove the the breach of the IT policy by that employee. Also, we can reboot that activity to, for example, to the management software or to the management workstation. So in a way that that we can detect it. Okay, this will be all the different solutions that we can offer from the security perspective. Now we're gonna go to the safety solutions. So one of the solutions that we can offer today is the temp threshold. This is a solution for fire prevention. Here, what we do basically is we analyze the temperature thresholds of all the objects that are on the field of view of the camera. So besides detecting when any of the objects is on the temperature threshold, also what we do is we analyze the behavior. Okay, the temperature threshold, as you know, most of the radiometric cameras can do it, but what we do is we go one step beyond. So that means that what we do is we analyze the behavior. For instance, imagine in case that we are detecting an object that is on the temperature threshold that we have set up the system for. Once we detect it, we will detect, but we will not trigger the alarm. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna wait for a period of time to analyze the behavior. And to analyze the behavior means if the object increases in temperature very rapidly, if the intensity of that object increases on size very rapidly, and also if it's moving around. Okay, so with this analysis, what we can do is we can also discriminate machinery working on the field of view of the camera in a way that, for example, imagine that there is like a forklift machine or forklift working on the field of view of the camera, and the exhausting tube is on the same temperature threshold as we're supposed to be detecting. So if we see that that temperature is steady, it doesn't increase rapidly, and also that the forklift is moving around, so we can consider that as a machinery. So we will detect it, but we will not trigger the alarm. And then on the other hand, in case that we detect a hotspot that is on the temperature threshold that we have set up the system for, but we see that in very rapidly increases on the temperature and on the size, stays fixed on the same point. For us, that will be considered as a fire. So we can detect, we can trigger the alarm for fire detection. Okay. So what are the key differences of this solution? We have multiple detection profiles running simultaneously. So this is critical real-time reporting and logging. So this works in real time. This doesn't work on recording. Is available with fixed and PTC cameras. We can generate a summary event report in different formats like XML, Excel, PDF formats. Also, this is very important. We have the heat emission and distance configuration. That means that based on the distance the object is, what we do is we correct the temperature. So in a way that we are very accurate on detecting. As you know, the energy dissipates with the space. That means that the object, I mean, the farther the object is from the camera, the less energy the camera is able to retrieve. So it's very important to adjust based on what distance the object is, to adjust the temperature, or to adjust how the energy dissipates. Okay. Also, we have the temperature color palette editor. So that means that we can adjust the image according to the temperature thresholds that we want to detect. That means that, for example, if we want to detect objects that are between 100 degrees Celsius and 300, for example, everything that is above that temperature thresholds or below, we will not consider, or we will tint it on different colors in a way that will not interfere with the solution. Okay. Also, we have offline evaluation available. So that means that we are recording with all the raw data, all the information in a way that you can move the mouse through the image, and then you will be able to know exactly the temperature of all the objects that are on that image. Okay. So here I'm going to put you a video of this fire detection solution. This is with a PTC camera. Okay. So here, right here is we are detecting, and now we are evaluating the fire. Okay. So for instance, I mean, the first thing that we do is once we move to the next preset, the first thing that we do is we generate a background. Once we generate a background, then we analyze the objects that are radiating energy. And then if we see that there is any object that is on the temperature thresholds that we have set up, and then also follows the behavior that we have set up the analytics for, then is when we trigger the alarm. Okay, another of the solutions that we can offer is the flame monitoring. Okay, this is available on server base, and also is available embedded version. Okay, here what we do is we do analyze the flame and flare detection and monitoring, flame size and intensity monitoring, and flame and flare status monitoring. So for example, we can classify as ignition, venting, or extinction. Okay, so this is a video wall with multiple cameras and flame and flare status. Analytics configuration tool, so you can configure the tool. Is also, you have like a reporting area, so you can export the files on PDF, XML, and Excel. And then also you have like the access to interface available with any system connected to the network. Okay, so here I'm going to show you a video on how this solution works. This is the embedded version, and this is available on the Axis Q1941, 42, 51, and 52. So here we can do, once you can register the name of the flame. So here, as you can see, this is the status of each one of the stacks of the flames. So here we have two flames. the flame is on. Okay, here also is the flame is on, and in this case we are monitoring this stack, and here what we're saying is venting because the solution, there is no fire, but the stack is emitting gas into the atmosphere. So here is when we are detecting. Also, we have the reporting area, which is also available on the embedded. On the same interface, you will be able to have all the reporting. So you can have like access, kind of like a database of all the events that the system has registered. And then also you have some different graphs that you can adjust based on the date, and then also based on the status, and then also based on the flame stack. Another solution that we have is the transformer monitor. As you know, most of the critical infrastructures, they have their own substation. So in case there is any power failure, they can also supply their own energy. So here, basically, what we do is analyze all the electrical equipment, and then we are detecting overheating components. So whenever we see that there is any object on the field of view that is on the temperature threshold, which means that it's overheating, we will be detecting. Okay, this solution is available for fixed or PTC cameras. So you also have the simultaneous radiation and distance configuration. And then here, what we do is, it's also available with fixed and PTC cameras. So as you know, for example, on the transformers, whenever there is a failure, that component tends to overheat. So before it generates a big failure, what we do is we detect it, and then we report to the system in a way that the next time that they need to send the maintenance crew, they know exactly to what component or what component they're supposed to take in consideration and repair. And then another solution that we have is the spill detector. This is a solution to detect any kind of leakage on water scenario. So we can detect liquid gas leakage, liquid leaks, and spill on water scenarios. Okay. Also, we can have a gas leak detection. It also can be available. And then besides detecting the leakage, also what we can do is we can monitor and analyze the quantity of the volume of the leakage. Okay. This is also available with all the with fixed and PTC cameras. It's also comparable with all the main VMSs available on the market. Okay, here are some of the success cases that we have worked with on the defense and law enforcement. As we explained before, we have successfully sold the FBI, the VMS, and also the cybersecurity solution. On the NATO headquarters, we have the access control solution. On the Rota military base, which is US Spanish military base on the south of Spain, we do all the perimeter surveillance. And then also we do with all the Navy bases and all the Air Force bases for the Spanish Army. On the oil and gas, we work with companies with Saudi Aramco. We have done the flame monitoring for them. Cepsa, which is the second largest oil company in Spain, we do all the perimeter surveillance of all their facilities. With Repsol, we have done some safety and automation solutions. On critical infrastructures, for example, we do the perimeter surveillance of the Madrid airport, Valencia port, which is the largest port on the Mediterranean by container traffic. This will be Trillo nuclear plant. We do the perimeter surveillance. This is Al Waqba Palace, which is the Emir of Qatar Palace. We do the perimeter surveillance for them. Puerto Leizoes, which is the Porto seaport, we also do the marine surveillance for them. And then on telecommunications, we work with companies such as AT&T, Etisalat on the Emirates, Telefonica, Hitachi in the US, Facebook in the US, and Portugal Telecom in Portugal. On the financial, we work with Santander, which is the 5th largest bank, and then also with CaixaBank, which is the 8th largest bank. As for distributors, we have global agreements with Anixter and ADI, and then also we work with companies such as Elco in Eastern Europe, Ingram Micro in Europe, Tech Data in Europe, Incomex in the United States and South America. And then we work with some of the main installers like Prosegur, Securitas, G4S, Stanley, Hindra, Thales, AT&T, Tyco, Johnson Controls, and so on. So this will be all the different solutions that we can offer for critical infrastructures. Here you have my contact details in case that you want to get more in deep on any of the solutions. Also, in case that you want to request a demo, you can either contact me or you can access through this URL, this internet address. Just for you to know that the price of the licenses includes setup and fine-tuning. And then also some of the solutions, most of the solutions, you have the option of perpetual license, but also you have the option of pay-per-use or subscription model. So in case that you guys have any questions, you can activate your microphone, or you can use your chat. So please feel free to ask any questions. Also, it's very important for you to know that in case that you have an existing security system and you need integration with, we will do all the integration works, and then that will be included into the price. Okay, there is Elvis. Is there any reference and partners in APAC? Okay, as for the critical infrastructures, we have done several border controls in Turkey. Okay, if that is considered APAC or Eastern Europe, let's call it. But I mean, most of the critical infrastructures that we have done are in EMEA, in Europe and in the Middle East. Okay, we have Alexis asking if the licenses are monthly, annual, or perpetual. We have all the options. I mean, you can have the perpetual license, and then also you have the subscription model in a way that you can pay on a monthly basis. It depends on the model. I mean, there is some clients that they rather go on subscription model. For instance, the cybersecurity and the VMS analytics, they have only available the subscription model. The rest of the solutions, they have subscription or perpetual license. Also, in a way that how we set up the system in those places in which we have the presence, or we have like a local technician. Usually what we do is we do it locally. In some cases, they allow us to do it remotely, but most of the critical infrastructures, they require to have some to deploy it locally, to do it on site. So what we do is, in case that we have the people, we send our own staff. In case that we don't have people, what we do is we train our system integrator, which is usually the company, the partner we usually do the work with, and then we support them on all the setup and configuration. Okay, in case that you want to request a demo, you can access our website. There is a demo request on each one of the products that you're interested in. And also here you have the address where you can request a demo. Okay. And then also just to let you know, after this webinar, we will send you the copy of the presentation and also a link to the video. So you will be able to review and access all the information once again.
Hello.
Hello, Pavan. Go ahead.
Yeah, Alvaro, I have some basic questions, some technical questions I have.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. So, your video analytics solution supports every IP cameras that on WIF?
Not every, but I will say, I mean, right now we have integrated Milestone, Genetec, Axis Camera Station, Pelco, Avigilon, Goitebrook, Cathesix, EDIS, Chameleon, Latitude, and the SQL. In case that there is, in case that you have a project which you're using a different VMS or a different security platform which is not integrated with any of our solutions, what we will do is we will do all the integration work free of charge.
No.
Then, of course,
I am asking that your solution depends on WIF profiles, like you are getting the feed from the camera, right?
we work. We can work on BIF. We can work on the RTSP video stream. So
Okay.
and then
Okay.
on the radiometric cameras is a little bit different because we need to integrate the camera in order to be able to access to the sensor and retrieve all the raw temperature data from the camera.
Okay. Okay.
Depends on the camera.
So when we are using RTSP stream, so is there any limitation like the stream should be on H.264 or H.265? Is there any limitation? Is there?
Well, but it is very important to let us know before we set up we decide the minimum processing requirements for the servers, on what resolution you want to analyze in a way that we can adjust, or we can recommend you the right characteristics of the server in order to be able to monitor to analyze that stream. But I mean,
So
we can adjust to any resolution, always as long as we adjust the requirements of the servers.
so there is no limitation of compression techniques, right?
No, there is
Like
not.
H.264, H.265, there is no limitation for that.
No, especially with
Okay. Okay.
the face recognitions. I mean, for the access control, you don't need much resolution, but whenever you want to do some like security monitoring, and then you need to look very far away, you need to put some a lot of resolution in a way that we'll be able to identify that person.
Okay. So I have around 1,300 plus sites at different locations.
Okay.
Okay, so I have to petrol pumps. I have total 1,300 to 2,000 petrol pumps. I have. So
Okay.
I have to monitor all the petrol pumps centrally. So that I will do using VMS, right? But I
Okay.
want to perform analytics at every petrol pumps at every location. So I
Okay.
want so when I go with your solution, so I have to purchase a single server at central location, or I have to purchase individual servers at individual locations.
I mean, if you want to monitor from the perimeter surveillance, you have the option to have the solution embedded into the camera. And then those cameras will be connected directly to the central VMS. So you will not need to install a server on each one of the sites. So it depends. It depends of the solution that you want to use. You will need a server or not. It depends.
No, because in total 2000 sites, minimum 20 camera will be in single site. So you can calculate the number of cameras. Okay. So to get the stream on a proper bandwidth, that's so this will be the major challenges that we face if we go centrally, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it can be done. I mean, we will need to know exactly what cameras you have deployed in each one of the sites. Then site if we are able to embed the solution on those cameras. If that is not an option, then we will need to install kind of like a server on each one of the sites. And that server will communicate with a central control center where you will have the VMS.
Okay. Thank you so much for your guidance. Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Can we connect after this session to discuss more on my project?
Yes. What I will do is I'll send you an invite. Send me your email address to the chat, and then I'll send you an invite.
Okay. So I will send my email address to you.
Okay. And then we have Elvis here. Can you show some sample topology diagram of the solution? Okay. This I'm just gonna show you here a diagram. Okay, this is how we can do it. Okay. In case that you go with our cameras, you have the option. You can either go through the cloud or you can go through the server. Okay. The good thing about our cameras is that they have the analytics and also their recording is embedded into the camera. So you will not need a server. But sometimes, I mean, some critical infrastructures, uh, cloud access is not permitted. So in that case, what we can do is we can go directly to the server, and then the server can connect directly through the laptop or smartphone or whatever. In case that you want to use any of our solutions, but you already have the third-party cameras, in that case, we will need to install a server. So the cameras will be connected to the server, and then the server will be connected either to the cloud or directly to the we can access directly through any workstation. So it depends on each site. I mean, what you have already installed, or if it's a new site, we can arrange and make it more, let's call it more simple. That answers your question, Elvis? Okay. Okay. And then Pavan, if you can send us your email address, or you have my email address here. You can send me the. Here you have my email.
Yes.
You can send me your email address to my email address here, right here, which is this one, hamacholi @greco.com.
1 minute. Can you share it on chat?
Yeah. Okay, so any more questions from anyone? Okay, well, in that case, I would like to thank you very much for attending to today's webinar. We really appreciate your patience. It has been a long webinar, almost 1 hour. So as I said, I mean, here you have my contact details, and then on the upcoming days, we will be sending you a copy of the video of the webinar and also a copy of the presentation for your review. Okay. Meanwhile, in case that you need to get in touch with me, please feel free to do so. I will be more than happy to respond to any of your queries. So I think there is someone else writing here. Okay, well, thank you very much. And then I'll keep in touch. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much.